Te presentamos House of Gods, una marca nueva pero candidata a ser líder en Latinoamérica con respecto a lo que es merchandising de bandas de metal. Y te explicamos el porqué. Todos los productos que compres a través de esta página son productos oficiales de las bandas. O sea, vas a tener acceso a diseños de primera calidad que no están disponibles en ningún lado. Y además el dinero de las compras que se generen van a ir directamente a las manos de tus artistas favoritos. Por lo que, con cada compra, aportás para que ellos puedan seguir activos y creando el arte que tanto nos gusta. Aparte, gracias a tus aportes, hacen donaciones periódicas a diferentes organizaciones de rescate y esterilización animal para mejorar la calidad de vida de muchos animales sin hogar. Así que, si necesitas merch oficial de tus bandas favoritas, pedíselo a House of Gods. Envíos a toda Latinoamérica. Escuchá Anticolor en Spotify, iTunes y YouTube. Próximamente publican su segundo álbum Reanimation, solo en sus plataformas y en Over Music. Okay. Next question. What are the lyrics of this album about?
That's an interesting theme because, you know, in the past we have always, I would say we've been more on the fantasy side of things, more philosophic, a little bit, you know, these very big thoughts about life and philosophy and all that. But for the last album, True North, I think we all wanted to get a little bit back to the real world, in a sense, to real life. And our way of doing that was to try to basically boil down the lyrics, make them more direct, make them more as a concept, an idea, or what can I say, instead of previous lyrics and a lot of songs I've done through the years has been a lot of basically a chain of thoughts. And sometimes I don't remember. People ask me, yeah, what is this song, you know, deal about and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't remember what I was singing back then because I kind of wrote it when I was thinking. But for True North, we kind of sharpen the knife a little bit in terms of being very kind of close to life, to reality and stuff like that. And I think I mix between, you know, a lot of things basically. But speaking about myself, I lost my father during the release of Winter Tries. The day after the release of Winter Tries, I had to go to the burial of my father. And for me, you know, that was a really tough time, the whole, and then we went straight on touring and a lot of traveling and stuff like that. And when I finally sat back down in studio, had some peace and quiet for myself and started to reflect about, you know, what has happened the last couple of years. I've been in heaven and hell, kind of, you know, in hell with, you know, the whole situation with my father, losing my father for mysterious reasons. We still don't know why he died. And on the other hand, we had quite good success with the tries. And I was kind of lingering between that, kind of bouncing between the ups and downs of life in a sense. And that gave me the kind of idea that for True North, I wanted to get the lyrics a little bit more into the real life, to be more direct. And the lyrics on this album has a more defined meaning, I would say, a point or an idea, so to speak. So I guess that's a big difference. And the lyrics, you know, they have much the same feeling, the same notion, the same perspective, I would say, as things you have done in the past. But still, it's, you know, we for example, the song Tidal, the second last song on the album, is a very personal lyrics for me because it's a, you know, it's a fascinating concept from nature, basically. I was once watching a documentary about mooses in Norway, the Scandinavian moose, which is quite big, like the king of the nature in Norway kind of thing. And they have a path they wander every year. And kind of interesting thing about this is that the scientists know that these mooses died out at some point during the Ice Age. They completely was kind of wiped out from this part of the world. But when the Ice Age kind of disappeared or melted away, so to speak, the mooses came back and they started to wander the exact same path as they've always done. And that's kind of interesting. And the scientists in this documentary said that we have no idea how they do it. You know, everything has changed. There is houses, there is streets, the landscape have changed. Still the mooses keep on going the same route as they've done for generation. And that was a point I kind of tried to bring into the humans, us human beings kind of thing, that we, you know, we are all different. We come from different countries. Some of us like to travel, some do not. And, you know, we are all so different, but in the same time, we are so alike in a sense. We are all humans. And you know, this is a kind of interesting to me, a very interesting perspective on life, because we are so different as human beings, but still we are so extremely alike on most of the things, at least a lot of things. We basically want to have a good life, everybody. And that's also something that chimes in, you know, when we are touring South America, USA, you know, whatever country we're touring, when we are meeting fans, that is kind of a striking, you know, it's just fascinating how different we are, and we meet a lot of people, but still we are so damn like, in a sense, because we just want to have a good life. So that's kind of the concept of one of the songs on the album, for example. And of course we have this song called Wild Father's Heart, and that was basically, to be honest, that was about me. You know, when my father was dying, there was like 2 months he was like needed breathing help and stuff like that, was unconscious, drugged down and all that stuff. And I was sitting with him all day on the hospital and tried to support and, you know, try to do my best, but little I could do really. And I felt so small, even though I'm a big guy kind of thing. So I kind of started when I drove back home from the hospital in the evenings. I just sat down in my studio and kind of, okay, I have to get something out. I have to just, you know, get my feelings in, I don't know, just get it out there somehow. And that turned out to be the Wild Father's Heart song. And of course the lyrics is very kind of inspired by this whole thing of losing my father. And, you know, that is a thing, again, that is a thing that everybody in some degree experience. At some point you will lose your father or mother or sister or something like that kind of thing. So again, very universal concept. But we tried to do it in a kind of, or I tried to do it in a very, in honorable way towards my father. Because he was a very, in my opinion, in my world, he was the big king in life. You know, he was my teacher in so many ways. He was my best friend. He was my, inspiration from, you know, music. He was a music lover back in the day. He teach me to listen, kind of, he showed me all the music he had back in the day. So I owe him so much. So I had this feeling that, what can I give back? And, you know, the least thing I could do is to make a song that pay him some respect. And that's what I did, basically.